Hey guys, Anthony Anzillo here with Swell Physical Therapy and Performance. I just wanted to shoot this quick video to thank you for attending my workshop, How to Recover Like a Pro, and also to show you the dynamic warm-up and the active recovery exercises that I taught that you can have here in video format. So like we discussed during the workshop, the purpose of a warm-up is to prepare your body to withstand the demands of whichever exercise or activity you're about to perform. And we have two different buckets where your warm-up routine can vary a little bit based on your specific needs. So for those who are more stiff, you might need to do a little bit more foam rolling, a little bit more stretching to loosen up before your workout. But for those who are very flexible but maybe not so strong, you probably don't need that, but you could benefit more from some banded hip work, some hip strengthening exercises to get those muscles activated and ready to go for the exercise that you're about to do. So after that, once we both come together from both of those groups, we can then work into a dynamic flexibility routine where we're going to be working both on mobility and stability at the same time. And as I mentioned, dynamic stretching is better to do before a workout, and then static stretching, where you're just holding a stretch stationary, is better to do after the workout. So in terms of dynamic flexibility, there are 4 simple exercises that I want to show you. So the first one is just a standing knee hug, and I'm just pulling one leg up toward my chest and then alternating. So here I'm working on stretching the back of my thigh and the back of my hip on one leg while working on balance and stability of the other leg. So we can do a few times on each side for that. This can also be taken into a walking stretch where I walk forward as I stretch, or you can just stay in one place. Same with the next one, which is just a standing quad stretch with a reach. You're just going to grab the foot, pull as you reach, and that's stretching all the way across the whole front of the body, and also working on some balance and stability of that stance leg at the same time. Again, we could take this into a walk, or we could just do it stationary here as shown. The third one is going to target more of the inner thighs and the groins. So we just want to get a nice wide stance and then sink into a side lunge, making sure we're not pushing the knee forward, but instead getting those hips back and just alternating side to side. As you loosen up with this one, you should be able to sink down a little bit lower into each stretch and get a little bit more of a deep stretch out of that. So this alternating side lunge is the third, and then the fourth is called the world's greatest stretch. I didn't name that one, but it's called that because it hits so many different muscle groups all at the same time. So how you do that one is you'll start here and just take a big step forward, drop down into a lunge, put your hand on the ground, get this elbow down toward your knee. So here, I'm doing a good stretch all across the outside of my hip. Then we rotate out or up and get some spine rotation. Then the hand back on the ground, shift back to get a big stretch to get this front leg here. And that's one side. And then of course we repeat on the other side. Just step forward into a lunge, hand on the ground, sink down, rotate up, hand that goes on the ground, and we shift back in a good stretch of the front of the thigh. So that is the dynamic flexibility routine that I recommend. Doesn't take much time at all. And then if the exercise, the workout you're getting ready to do involves running or jumping or any other impact type of activity, those are a couple of dynamic agility exercises that I recommend doing as part of your warm-up too. So the first one would just be high knee running in place or high knee running forward. So just in place, that would just look like this. All right, next one, which is takes a little bit more coordination. You may not have done this in a while, but is a skip. So we're just going here, working on a little bit more power generation, trying to get up off the ground. And then the third one would be a pop and drop. So this is going to work on your calves and also work on you kind of catching yourself in a landing position, working the same muscles you would during a squat. So you're just going to pop on your toes, working your calves, drop down into a squat, and repeat. So simple as that. Just from doing that very quick routine, I've got my heart rate up, my muscles are loosened up, they're primed, my nervous system is ready to go, and I'm ready to have a great workout. So that kind of stuff I recommend whether you're doing a class here at the gym, or if you're just out at home getting ready to go for a run. All that stuff can be a great way to get your body ready to withstand any of those exercise workouts. All right, and then after the workout is complete, we talked about all sorts of important recovery strategies, sleep, nutrition, hydration, all those things. And then another piece of that was active recovery techniques, where you can do some static stretching and foam rolling. So foam rolling is beneficial to do after a workout to help make those muscles that you just worked really hard less sore over the next couple days. So if you did a heavy lower body workout, there's 5 muscle groups I recommend trying to hit with the foam roller. That would be your glutes, hamstrings, inner thigh, calves, and IT band or outer thigh. So I'll show you how you can hit those areas right now. So for the glutes, we're just gonna sit on top of the foam roll and then cross one leg over the other. And now my glute's in a stretch position and I've got some pressure down into it. And we're just gonna roll up and down, just nice and slow. What you don't want to do is, when you're foam rolling any muscle group, is go too fast. Your muscles aren't going to be relaxed that way, and you're not going to get as much out of it. So just stay nice and relaxed, go slow, and breathe. And if you feel some tender, tight areas, don't be afraid to sink down into them with a little bit extra pressure. If you find a really good spot, you can even hang out on that spot with a lot of pressure and move your leg out and back, or rotate it back and forth. When you do that, it's just shortening and lengthening that muscle with that pressure on it, and that can be another good way to relieve some soreness and tightness. So we're going to do both sides on that. For all these muscle groups we're going to target here, you'd want to get both sides. And then from there, we can move down to the hamstrings. So for the hamstrings, you're just going to lift up, hold yourself up with your hands. Feet are just going to be floating here, so we have as much pressure as possible on the foam roll, right on the back of the thigh and the hamstrings there. So you can get the back of the hamstrings by staying straight up. You can rotate to the side a little bit to get the outside of this one and the inside of this one, and then vice versa to the other side. The only issue here with having both legs on there at the same time is it's hard to get adequate pressure on there. So if you do one leg at a time, then you can get more pressure. The only downside is the routine's going to take just a little bit longer because you have to do each side individually. So after the hamstrings there, we're going to just let the foam roll go down a little bit, and now we'll hit the calves. Same principles there. You can hit the back of the calves this way, either both at the same time, getting right in the middle and toward the sides of the calves, or we can stack one foot on top of the other and get more pressure and work one side at a time. So this way it's just a little bit more intense if you're trying to get through the routine quickly, or if your calves are really tender and it's a little bit too much pressure doing one at a time, then it's fine to do both at the same time as well. Next, we're going to hit the IT band. Keep in mind the IT band goes all the way from your hip bone here, all the way to your knee. So we can hit that whole length of muscle in between, as well as the muscles that attach into your IT band, which there are some in the front of the hip, the back of the hip, and then all the way down. So you don't have to stay right on that painful spot if it is tender for you. But we're just going to go up and down the length of that tissue. Roll to the front a little bit to get a little bit of the quad muscle group. Roll toward the back a little bit to get the muscles that attach into the back side of that IT band. And then we can work the muscles right in the hip that attach into the IT band, both in the front and the back of the hip. And of course, we do both legs. And then the last muscle group is going to be the inner thighs. So from here, I'm just going to get the foam roll this way and rolling through here. All right, again, you can turn, get a little bit of the quads that way too. Roll through here, as high up as you're able to get, and then almost all the way down to the knee. So we can hit that muscle group this way, or you can have the opposite leg in the front. There's not a right or wrong, but whichever feels more comfortable for you and allows you to get into that target muscle a little bit easier. All right, and then of course all those muscle groups we just rolled out, we can then stretch afterward, and I can help you with any of that if you have any questions about how to stretch those muscle groups. And then if we did an upper body workout, the two areas I like to hit with a foam roll are the upper back and the lats. So for the upper back, there are two different ways we can do that. The first way would be giving yourself a hug. That helps to clear the shoulder blades out of the way so you can get directly on the spine and the muscles that support the spine. Or we can have our hands behind our head, and that gets the shoulder blades back together again so that we can roll out the shoulder blades and all of the muscles that attach onto it. Again, there's no right or wrong for this one either, but usually a combination of both is usually most beneficial. And then to hit the lats, it's a huge muscle group that goes all the way from your lower back all the way up to your shoulder. So you can hit the whole length of that lat muscle. For that, you're just going to lay on your side with your arm up overhead. That puts it in a little bit of a stretched position. And if you aim toward the back of the armpit and down a little bit, you can really feel some tenderness through there. So this is a muscle that's commonly tight in a lot of people, and it can limit overhead mobility. We'll get more into that in a subsequent workshop, but you can hit it that way, and we can also get a little bit further down into the muscle belly just by moving that foam roller down a little bit. Again, no right or wrong for this one, just different and depends on your preference. And then of course we would stretch all those areas as well. So that about sums it up for all of the warm-up and active recovery techniques I wanted to show you. So if you have any questions about any of that stuff at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is anthony@swellptp.com. You can also sign up for a free phone consultation here at the front desk at Regiment, and we can discuss any issues that you have going on with you specifically and determine if I'm a good fit to help you with them or if I can help you find whoever would be a good fit. So again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it and hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon.